Alrighty, Alpha Hunters. Hope everybody is doing terrific this Thursday. We are seeing pretty good bullish price action coming through on the market today. Not too unexpected, actually, considering the fact of yesterday in the last hour 15 or so. Really, the last hour really kind of dropped off there pretty sharply. That was when Jerome Powell was still talking. And yeah, there you go. A nice sell down there in the last hour, ending at the session lows right there at the last little bit. Nice little drop. Really, even on the last 2 minutes, a little bit of a drop to end at the lower end of that candle. So we got a little bit of a gap up. Made no sense to be bullish, or really made no sense to be bearish at the end of yesterday. I mean, that was a very sharp sell-off, and really all we did was kind of come into the daily moving averages. So it made a lot of sense to just not be bearish, at least for, maybe the short term. Maybe we roll over here the next couple days. We're going to have some big-time earnings today after the bell. But, yeah, so it just kind of made sense to at least not be bearish. I mean, I could definitely even make the case of I'll take a little bit of a bullish swing here because people are going to try and buy the dip. There you go. Gap up. How much of a gap up did we have today? It was about a third. Let's see. It was about a third. Come on. Thank you. Yeah, it was about a third. A little bit more than a third of a percent. Not too much kind of going on there in the early parts of the day. We did trend a little bit higher for that first hour, and then that second hour, nice little drop off there for that 30 minutes. And then really since then, we hit a daily low. We trended higher there for the next roughly hour and a half, and then the past hour or so we kind of made a little bit of a pullback, not really doing a whole lot though. So we'll see how we end today. If we do roll back down, that would be a very interesting look as we look at the daily. I'll get around to that. Q's kind of the same kind of deal. Not too indifferent from how the SPY looks. So currently they are both up. The SPY and the Q's currently both up about 0.9% right now. Okay, fine. Let's keep going. IWM though, nice little gap up. First hour and a half traded lower, and then ever since that point has traded higher. Kind of back up to those daily highs currently. All right. DIA, Dow Jones Industrial Average, not really too much of a gap there at all. Kind of a choppy first hour and a half. Okay, and then a very nice strong hour and a half after that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Pretty strong hour and a half there. Past hour, not really doing too much. RSP, nice little gap up, trade lower. Kind of like the IWM did, just not as strong. And then, nice hour and a half bullishness. Past hour, not really doing a whole lot. Okay. Up currently 0.75%. Yeah, a lot of these are going to be, look like this, kind of pulling back into the daily moving averages. RSP throwing a little bit of a lower wick, getting below yesterday's low, bouncing, not looking too bad. The DIA, pulling into the 10 EMA, yesterday, today, looking pretty good, bouncing, kind of makes sense. IWM, dropping, had a pretty sharp drop there the first hour and a half today, kind of pulled back into that 50 EMA. It's kind of where it bounced last time, back in the middle of January. So, this thing better bounce here, or you're probably just looking to come lower. Where's that 100 moving average? 100, 200 sitting down here in the lower 180s there on the IWM. So, yeah, better bounce here, and all these better bounce here. We're definitely going to be moving lower. It's kind of an obvious statement, but we're obviously clearly seeing the bounce at these levels. So if we break these down, then we're definitely going to go to a lower level. Q's, nice bounce. Hasn't really gotten back above that 10 EMA today. Kind of bouncing in between the 10 and 20 here on the daily. So Q's have a big day again tomorrow. After the bell today, we got 3 big timers with earnings. So I'm not really optimistic on those earnings, much like Google, Alphabet, the other day. Tuesday after the bell. Kind of got that one right. I think Alphabet, to me, my perspective is Alphabet has the most to lose in the AI kind of race. Anyways, with AAPL, I don't really see the growth side. Maybe people are going to be looking at Vision Pro demand. I guess maybe I don't see Vision Pro having huge demand. So that's just kind of the way I see that. And then Meta, I don't know about Meta, man. Meta's a wild card. I just don't trust Zuckerberg all that much. Even though that company is up at all-time highs. Amazon's a difficult one because they got the cloud business and then they also have the retail business. That one's always kind of tough to analyze. Maybe one day they'll split those businesses apart, but anyways, I don't know. I don't know about those. Um, Amazon at least. Spy, obviously, clearly seen the bounce. Had a sharp breakdown there at the end of the day yesterday. Got below the 10 EMA. Huge volume came in yesterday. All these have all the five major averages I got here, ETS I got here. They all had pretty good volume yesterday, selling off. So yeah, I mean they all pulled back at least into the moving averages that were uptrending. They were well above them for a little while. Does this remind you of 2007 when we topped? We came up and we hit an all-time high, and then it didn't hold. It was a very short-lived time period at all-time high levels. Let me go back and kind of show that. I don't really think so. Let me go to 2008. There we go. So this is the all-time high that we hit, and it was really more of an intraday all-time high. I'm going to zoom out here, and you can kind of see where we were before back in 2000. So we briefly, very briefly, hit those all-time high levels at like the top here in October of '07. So there was only a few days, like right through this level, right through this price level. You can see that we spent maybe a week of trading days, maybe not an actual week, but yeah, it looks like about a week and a half of actual trading days. Kind of just up all-time highs, and then we kind of rolled over, and that was it. Like it wasn't like we were over it too long compared to that 2000 high. So is this one kind of similar? I mean, I can make the case it's kind of similar. We definitely got a lot higher than what we did back then, above the previous all-time high, but we've also definitely held above it. At least, I mean, if we roll down here over the next day or two, we've definitely held above it at least a few days longer if we roll over. So yeah, I'm not gonna say this is like 2007. The other thing is between 2000 and 2007, that was 7 years. Well, we just spent 2 years between all-time highs. Now, we went from the beginning of 2002 to, I mean, roughly here towards the end of January in 2024. So roughly 25 months, almost, not quite 25 months. It's like 24 and a half months. So yeah, there you go. That's just a quick look, kind of where we are right now. But yeah, if we roll over and take out this bounce spot that we got here, then yeah, I mean we're gonna go lower to find a new price level, and everybody that's trying to buy the dip here, well, they'll be selling because they're obviously clearly buying the dip there. So, all right. VIX of VIX. Not really doing a whole lot today. Coming back down. Makes sense. Seeing a decently bullish day. Dollars down. Had a nice rally at the end of day yesterday. The dollar did. You can see when Jerome Powell was talking, had a nice pump. And then it dropped. And then it rallied when the market kind of really started selling off. The DXY did pretty good. But you can see throughout the night, the dollar kind of rolled over. Market's bullish. Okay. Honestly, don't really know why. Because I mean, he basically said that they're not doing rate cuts anytime soon. So there you go. The market just does what it wants. I don't even know why we even listen to the Fed. GDP or not GDP, GLD, not GDP, GLD. Um, yeah, nice move here today. I mean, dollars dropping off pretty good amount. We see gold pushing higher, pretty good amount. All right, so that's looking pretty good. 10-year yields dropped pretty good yesterday, continuing down today. Throwing a large lower wick though. That's interesting. Throwing a pretty good lower wick there, so we'll see if that is start of a bounce or what, or if we come back down a little bit lower by the close and maybe it's a continuation day, at least on the yield side. All right, 10 and 2 inversion, continuing lower today. All right, continuing to pull back. HYG dropped off yesterday. It was trying to break through the upper end of like this consolidation that it's been in here for the last, good grief. Uh, what, month or so? There we go. So yeah, we were trying to break through that past few trading days. It did not hold yesterday. Obviously, you got the upper wick coming back down today. Got a lower wick coming back up today. Yeah, that is an interesting one. As let's see, did we kind of connect in with the lower end of this trend line? Kind of. Yeah, kind of. So we did get to the lower end here. So are we going to continue to kind of compress in this triangle, or do we have like a false breakout? We came back down to this line, and now we're just going to bounce off this line. Typically, we don't. You don't see that normally when you break out and you come back down into it. Usually, you get a bounce here on the line, and then you'll roll back over. I don't really know if I'd classify that as a breakout because it's not like a really strong. It's not like we pushed really higher and then came back down. I mean, it was kind of like we just kind of floated out of it and then came back down. So, anyways, HYG, I don't really know yet. We'll see here in the next couple days. But LQD looking pretty good. LQD is looking like it wants to continue bullish. That looks pretty good. TLT's been strong here over the past 4 trading days. This week has been very strong for the TLT. Coming into this level, though, this level back, in December was a pretty important level because once we broke that, that was when we kind of triggered low. We started trading lower there on the TLT. Very quick run up to that level this week, and maybe we see it reject out of there and roll down. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's very possible. The only reason why I kind of bring it up is we are throwing an upper wick at that level, so at least I would expect us to at least rest here. But if we wind up pushing up here over the next couple of trading days, you're going to look for the pullback and you're going to take that bullish, period. So right here, not really sure what to do. I wouldn't do anything. I would let the market kind of dictate what it's going to do here. Because if it pushes up, you just take the bullish retest. If it kind of starts to break down here, you're going to look to probably start to be getting bearish. But don't really, no clean setups on that yet. Check that sector rotation. All right, sector rotation there for today. Got some pretty good gap ups here today. Also got some pretty good gap downs as well. Real estate gap down. Interesting. All right. Anyways, underperformers, energies and financials. Energies and financials. Kind of weird. I mean, energies here midday. Look at this. They were doing pretty good. They were outperforming, and then they just dropped off there for about 15 minutes. Wow, that's pretty sharp. And then they rallied pretty good there. Excuse me. XLC in line with the market. XLV, healthcare, real estate, tech, discretionaries, industrials, all about the same level, outperforming. Let's see. Materials, utilities, and staples all outperforming the most on the day. Looking pretty good there. All right. Intraday price action. Utilities have been the day's best performer. Staples also doing pretty good there. Real estate. Let's see. Healthcare doing pretty good there. Tech barely outperforming. Industrials barely underperforming. Discretionary materials, financials, communications, and energies. Okay.